Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 575, and it is your review of Suzume. As always, it is the Nerd Chicana here to host the show, along with my wonderful co-host for today, Mr. Luigi.
It's me, the resident, currently only resident for
Weeb.
anime shit. Yeah.
Yeah, only Weeb in town. Yep, only Weeb in town as we talk about the new film from Makoto Shinkai. And yeah, because we already kind
Phew.
of talked to each other before, and this comes out like next week. This review, I don't know.
We
I
back to
guess
back recorded is what he's trying to
back
say.
record. Yeah, we're back record. We're both recording, so that means that I don't know what the hell to stall here until 5 minutes. So I guess I'll ask Luis.
Yeah.
This is my 5 centimeters per second. The Garden of Words. Your name. Weather with you. This is my
Did he do
fifth.
Garden of Words?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
This is the fifth film I've watched from Makoto Shinkai,
Okay.
and this is the second one I got to watch in the theaters. First time in IMAX, which
Okay.
we'll have to talk about
Is
all
it?
of that
Yeah. Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
in the what's it called in the actual review. But I'll go ahead and ask you, Luis, how much is this your first time watching? Is the first time watching a Makoto Shinkai? I know you've watched Your Name, right?
No, I watched Garden of Words, Your Name. Saw parts of 5 centimeters apart, but I didn't actually like start. It was just clips that I seen on Facebook that were like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it was legit, just like segments of the film.
Even though
Um,
it's a film that's actually divided in segments.
is
You
it?
watch this? Yeah,
That's probably why it was in segments.
yeah.
um, but out of the three that I've watched, this is you're gonna find out why. But I prefer Garden of Words all time. I like Your Name and I like Rad Wimps, but Garden
Yeah.
of Words had a je ne sais quoi to his
Yeah.
artillery of films.
Yeah, 100%. The Garden of Words is my favorite film from Makoto Shinkai. I kind of forgot that this man was putting out a new movie.
I didn't know at all.
Because I swear to you, Luis, I
Hmm.
I saw an email in my list about this movie.
But inviting you to a screener or some shit.
Yes,
Mm.
in New York,
Hmm.
and then I just forgot about it, and I heard nothing anymore about this movie until it randomly started to pop up the marketing, and I was like, oh shit, I think I was supposed to see this movie. And then it just obviously I'm not gonna fly out to New York. I ain't got money for that right now.
Hmm.
But um what's it called? This movie kind of fell off my radar, and I was like, oh, what the heck? And Aaron kind of brought up a really good point too on the drive back. He's
Hmm.
saying that anime films kind of just drop. They don't really like have a planned release like that. Like
No, they do not. It's
because like
very rare.
yeah, because I remember like I didn't know that Bell was gonna come out that year. I know the Demon Slayer film, like the One Piece
Mugen
film,
Train, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like all of those, like they just drop. They don't
Yep.
actually have like planned release dates, and like the marketing campaigns literally happen like the month before this thing is supposed to drop, and we barely
I
even
think
find
that's just
out.
US based though, because in Japan
Yeah.
it's like all the craze,
Well, let's
right?
be real. Japan made most of the money for this movie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
The distributors for these types of movies are only
yeah,
getting sense of what they can,
yeah,
and that's only because they know they don't have to do anything aside from just put their name on it and give it to American cinemas.
yeah. But yeah. So I'd like to say that that this movie was a movie that I was just going into just for this week. I was like, okay, we need to go see something. I want to see something. So fuck it. Aaron was like, let's go watch Suzume, and we went to go watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no clue that this movie was coming out this year. And all I knew, and when in regards to anime, I knew that Miyazaki was coming back and his movie was going to premiere at Venice, and that's it. I know
Mm.
anything about Shinkai bringing a new movie to the states, and I didn't know anything about this. So yeah, I guess that's enough for me to stall. Let's go ahead and do this. Do this.
Go ahead, go and read the synopsis from
Yeah.
week.
All right, y'all. If you haven't watched Suzume, then you probably want to get out of here if you care about spoilers.
Yep.
But if you don't care about spoilers, or you already watched the film, then you should probably stick around. Either way, how any of that goes is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go ahead and rate now. I'm gonna go here because I saw something that I'm gonna go ahead and take some time to talk about here.
All right, go
Um,
for it.
yeah. Um, Suzume Suzume's Looking Up is a 2020, that's the literal translation, by the way, is a 2022 Japanese animated fantasy adventure film written and directed by Makoto Shinkai, produced by Comics Wave Films, and distributed by Toho. The film features the voices of Nanoka Hara and Hokuto Matsumura, with the character designs by Masayoshi Tanaka, animation direction by Kenichi Tsuchiya, and art direction by Takumi Tanyi, and music by Red Wimps and Kazuma Jinochi. Suzume is Shinkai's third collaboration with Red Wimps and Tanaka after Your Name and Weathering with You, and was inspired by the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami that happened in 2011. 2011. I mean, I remember the videos when that
Yeah,
happened.
I
Yeah,
thought that was what they were going for here
yeah,
for a lot of the scenes.
yeah. I was like, wait, that yeah, Brett Luis is old enough to remember that. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I remember seeing the videos of that when that shit happened, and those
Was crazy.
yeah, crazy, yeah. Um, I think that's when my actual fear of like drowning actually happened. I started to like sink in. But the film follows 17-year-old high school student Suzume Iwatu and Sota Munakata, who team up to prevent a series of disasters across Japan. The film began production in early 2020, eventually being announced as completed by October 2022. A novel adaptation also written by Shinkai and a manga series illustrated by Denki Amashima both debuted prior to the film's release. Suzume first premiered in IMAX in Japan on November 7, 2022, and was theatrically released nationwide on November 11th. It was released internationally across 2023 by Crunchyroll Sony Pictures Releasing under the Sony Pictures Releasing International banner and Wild Bunch International. The film received positive reviews from critics with praise for its animation, characters, emotional weight, and music. Here we go. Although some reviewers criticized the plot for being structurally similar to Shinkai's previous films, it has grossed $293.7 million worldwide, becoming the fourth highest grossing film of 2023 in Japan and the fourth highest grossing Japanese film of all time. The fuck? Ha 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 ha. Edited by Makoto Shinkai. And music is done by, of course, the Rad Wimps and Kazuma Jinochi. Uh, and it sits at 2 hours and 2 minutes. And of course, it's made $300 million. So, I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
first. Yeah, I
go
have
for
to go first here. I have to
it.
go first because I've been on this ride before, and every single time I think that it's gonna be any different, it doesn't ever get different. They're not wrong. This movie is heavily similar to not just Weathering with You, but Your Name and not Garden of Words, because guess what? Garden of Words is the only movie out of the five in the last freaking year since 2007 that has not been the same movie from this man. But I've got to say, is I was really down for the ride in the first half of this film. The first half of this film actually had me down, and I was like, wow, this is happening. Like, I'm actually enjoying this. Like, I didn't think that this was possible. Like, wow, I'm really digging this. And then the film falls apart in the second half, and I'm left utterly disappointed. But I'll go ahead and go next to Luis. Luis, what are your initial thoughts on Suzume?
uh, I was gonna go see it anyways. I know you said that you were like you needed something to watch. I was gonna go see it anyways. I don't know when, but I did want to go see it just because I want to see anime stuff because it gives me a little more oomph than majority of movies that I go see in theaters. Right? Uh, I know it was supposed to be supernatural, which I we got, but there's some elements that, like you said, it is repetitive from other stuff, and it's also unnecessarily repetitive. Like he didn't need to add that element in there, but I mean he did, and he made money off of it, so it's not like we can say anything. Uh, but overall, the movie was definitely like, all right, I want to go see it. Probably not going to see it again. I'll probably see your name or Garden of Words a bit more than I will see that one. But it was definitely like, all right, cool. I can see why it would make millions. It's pretty cool. Definitely, I wasn't expecting to get an introduction for a variant version of Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Child. You know, there's a lot of a lot of stuff that just reminded me of it. And I went home and went and immediately started Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
it's pretty like noticeable. Like, let's like I'm not gonna straight up call the man a copycat because I'm
Hmm.
not here to do that.
Hmm.
I think look, man, I will say this that Shinkai has a style. Shinkai has a what's it called? A
Definitely.
certain um he has a certain like approach to the way he makes movies, and you know what? That's something that what's it called? Not a lot of directors can do. They can't say that
Hmm.
they have a pinpoint style.
Yep.
They can't say that they have a way that they approach their narratives. That's something that Shinkai can have, and he does it. But if we're talking about this like big dark energy coming out of the of a place and going up
Hmm.
into the sky,
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, this reminds you of something. And then your first big event happens inside of a school.
Hmm.
You're just
Yeah.
like, okay, this is starting to
Hmm.
remind me of something.
Hmm.
Starts to get a little too coincidental, don't you think?
I mean, for the people that don't know, there's Jujutsu Kaisen Zero deals with cursed energy, which is basically negative emotions that gather everywhere in Japan, right? Anywhere like schools, hospitals, just sad negative emotions and strong emotions at that. Um, we see not only a school where they explain that those negative emotions create cursed energy and cursed spirits, but we see black essence all around whenever they use cursed energy. So potato. I don't know, but it definitely got me hyped up to go see Jujutsu Kaisen again. So I I don't know if it's that's a bad thing.
I don't know, man. All I know
Also,
is that what's it called? There, it has those similarities,
and that's
but
saying something because you don't watch anime, and the only reason you went to go see Jujutsu Kaisen is because I wanted to go see it, and you were like, "Fuck it, it's a prequel, so why not?"
yeah, why not, right? But I was like, oh, like the movie that this is reminding me of is a better movie, and I rather watch that movie.
Hmm.
And you know, I like the story. I like the premise of this movie.
Yeah, I
It,
definitely did too.
and like it's something that on all cylinders on paper, this should you know be my type of thing. We have a story that very much is very rooted in like a lot of emotional depth.
Hmm.
It's talking about not just family, but what's it called, the passing of a parent and all these things that like to me like oh this should check off things for me that are going to interest me,
Yeah,
and it initially does, and then just Shinkai does Shinkai, and he does his like oh actually what's it called, I'm going to revolve the plot now to like end with like this idea of her falling in love with this guy, and they once again need to pair up to save the world, which
yep,
kind
yep,
of happened
yeah.
in not just your name. It happens, in not the Garden of Words. I'm sorry. It happens in
Five
freaking
centimeters
no,
or
not five centimeters.
weathering with you.
Weathering with you. It happens in Weathering
Yeah,
with you, and I'm just like, okay.
it's
so
like, baby girl, you
so
just met him 3 days ago. It's like,
so like what are we doing here?
yeah,
You're telling me that like everything else that came before this, like it relates to our character, but like everything else that was better here, like there was a lot of things that you could have ended on. Like this movie has like a part where it's like, oh, it's gonna end here,
yeah,
and it
it
keeps
does.
going
Keeps going
for like
and
another
drags
20
on.
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he added that element of like falling in love for the guy. I'm like, first, 3 day they just met like 3 days ago. Second of all, this isn't like, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of important qualities that already been established that are like greater needs to her. Why not just focus on that? Use that energy and like there's nothing wrong with platonic friendships. You know.
And also, when I look at the two films that are very similar to this one,
Hmm.
and I go ahead and I look at the romances in all those in these three films,
Hmm.
this is the one that I least believe.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. All of those other films were pretty tense for like a fate meetup. Like it was always a thing about like something's missing and it's someone that I knew I loved, but there's this type of deal, right?
Yeah.
This one doesn't start off like that. first act and like majority of the second act, it was not about that. It was about saving the Earth
Yeah,
from disaster. And then we switch up on the fucking fifth gear. That shift knob is broken because he skipped a couple of gears, and we're already over here. It's like, well, that kind of pulls me under a bit. It's like I'm over here chilling, enjoying what we got, and then you just drag me down with all of this random. It's like, come on, man.
yeah. I do have to say, I think that the voice acting was pretty good,
That was pretty good.
but yeah, but what's up with the lack of red wimps?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, it's a staple in his movies that he's gonna have a couple of
A
songs in
couple
there
of songs.
for the
Yeah,
Radwimps.
play throughout the movie, not just at the end, like or a soundtrack. Play throughout the
Plays
movie.
throughout the movie. What the fuck happened here?
Not
Like,
even the title sequence.
yeah, and like, I, I, I'm not gonna knock the score because the score is actually pretty good. I think that the
Mm-hmm.
score works well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yo, this like for this being a movie that feels very similar to your other movies, it's kind of very different from the fact that like it's missing those things that you're kind of known for. Like I'm waiting there, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is gonna be a great moment. They're gonna put the Radwimp song in
Some
here. It's
guitar
gonna,
shit in there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's gonna elevate the scene right here, and
Nope.
it doesn't.
Mm-mm. And so many good scenes to probably add some guitar riffs in there, but no,
And
some
no, and it's
J-pop.
just like, okay,
That's
and
another reason why I wanted to go see it because of Rad Wimps. I'm like, I was expecting
yeah,
to hear at least one song that I'll put in my playlist after the movie, but no.
yeah. Also, please, studios, stop sending your movies to IMAX if they're not going to have the IMAX aspect ratio, man. What was
Yeah,
that for? What was that for? And that's not going to be anything that's going to affect my score, because that's
no,
something that
that's
obviously that's studio decisions. Those are
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, that's not the actual filmmaking of the movie. But I'm just like, Super Bowl, like what's it called? Dragon Ball Superhero had this the IMAX
Uh,
ratio,
yeah,
and I was like, okay, cool. What the fuck happened here?
yeah. It was black bars on what we were seeing. Not just that, but IMAX doesn't have like recliners or luxury recliners, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
So we had
which,
to sit through like 2 hours of just.
yeah. Which, by the way, as redundant as this plot is,
Mhm.
they could have cut this down a bit.
They could have.
Because like I get it. We have to go to another area because
Mhm.
there's another energy coming and we have to close that door. And it all leads to them having to go to Tokyo because of course most of Shinkai's movies have to deal with the urban and the rural settings. But dude, he goes like 4 times to do us these door things. And I'm like, okay, we get it. This is what she needs to do. Can we move a little quicker
They're
here?
trying to
Can
make you
we,
understand how curse energy works, man. You got to feel the energy and the emotions and the memories that they had.
yeah. I'm just I'm sorry. Like it makes it sound like I hated this movie. I don't hate it. It's
It's
definitely
just
my
a lot
least.
of points that we got to point out.
Yeah, it's definitely my least favorite from his filmography that I've
Hmm.
watched. But like, it's just there's so much in this where it's like, okay, you could do a lot with this. You could like stretch this out a little more. You could probably like not concentrate on this some more. And he
Yep.
just goes for the formula, and it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. I don't understand like picking off. I think from the fundamentals, maybe I can understand like the relatability where they all feel the same, right? Um,
Yeah,
but even knowing like his strategic point is definitely it's just outside of the ball for just him. Like he wants to make it his, but also I don't know. I was expecting something because normally I don't cry unless I'm feeling it. For certain shits, unless it's like silent voice where it makes you cry. But this one definitely, I don't know what to feel after. I just like okay, it's like all right, cool.
that was it. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
because there were some powerful points, and then they didn't. They continued. They dragged it off, and then another powerful point. I was like, okay, this is a good point to either cut or do something else, and then they drag it on. It's like, oh my god, I don't know why you made it 2 hours. You could have easily made it 1:45 or something
yeah,
around that, But
yeah. Also, just just want to point out, man, I'm getting real tired of the 17-year-old girl falls for like the university dude trope thing here. Like,
hey, man, it's Japanese culture, man. No, yeah, that was a little bit weird. I'm like, that dude looks like a grown up, and you're act. We've stated that you
Yeah.
are like a junior in high school, and it's
Yeah.
like even your name is like okay, there's like a loophole because technically you met when you were around the same age, but like
Yeah.
time and all that works weird. Same with 5 centimeters apart, it's like an age thing.
Five
Yeah.
centimeters per second. I think they were all like kind of like kids. Most of
Kids,
them were
yeah,
like
they
kids.
were all
Yeah.
like around the same age. Same with Weathering with You, they're around the actually no,
Same
if I
age.
remember, they I think the girl was younger than the guy too, but they were like
Yeah.
still both minors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is that's a gray area.
Yeah.
That's some Romeo and Juliet, Juliet for Transformers. Um,
Yeah.
but definitely that trope is kind of like
It's
I.
overused, bro.
It's
It's
weird if it
overused.
happens. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, no, that one was like you could have definitely you could be friends that program, the Big Brother Big Sister program that they used to have
Yeah.
back in the two
I
thousands.
just think that it works better as a story about friends and
Yeah,
even as a big brother because that's ultimately what Suzumi is missing. She's missing like that
family. That.
central family figure that like
Mhm.
obviously his her aunt tries to be and like like
Yeah.
at the end it's kind of shows that that's where it's going but like I think to me whatever the dude's name could have easily been that brother figure for her
Yep. Yep.
and it's like no it's got to be the love interest and like she has to go for somebody that you love and then obviously when you think about love let's go everybody has to think it's like oh it has to be romantic right it's like no it doesn't fucking have to be
Not
like
all.
that
You know.
so
Yeah.
yeah I did like the animation. I think the animation was great.
That's gonna be on par. I don't. I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting any
oh
less.
yeah,
CGI for
especially
the creature was a bit weird for me, but aside from that,
yeah, especially the what's it called? Like he kind of did something different this time around that he hasn't done more. Like the stuff with the fire was really cool. Like
in the
usually he
hellscape.
doesn't. Yeah, usually he doesn't go there.
Hmm.
Usually, like it's always usually like you know urban and rural settings, and he has
Hmm.
like the what's it called like the fantastical elements there. But like I really liked what he did there. Like that was the point where I was like, okay, cool. And I liked how the it started to form, and you'd see all these like terraforming parts inside of the cloud thing, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, like this looks cool. This works cool, and I like that for the animation. I like that he at least got
That
to
was cool. Yeah.
experiment a little bit with that.
Yeah. That's
But
some. That's some Gojo level. I was expecting him to pull up. Which I got, bro. I wish the Weeb Core was still on because I got some news about Gojo. My boys, he was locked up and now he's free. He's pissed off too. Anyways, yeah,
you think Shinkai just really wants to direct the next Jujutsu Kaisen movie?
if there is, I'm gonna go see it because his animation is pretty good, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just hope he doesn't do some weird shit because there is a character that kind of grooms someone. If animation wise, I wouldn't mind seeing that because they
Yeah,
got badass shonen elements. New gen shit, they're popping off. But we're not here to talk about new gen. Yeah, the film's like overall escape of animation. I yeah, you're right. I kind of wish the IMAX aspect was there. I would have loved to seen that scene with the like the last big one before they kind of close it off. Um, was dope, and I wonder how badass it would look in IMAX. But
yeah,
nothing. We're not in this lifetime, I guess.
yep. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just what's it called? Go to our final verdict here.
Yep, yep, yep.
Um, all right, I gotta think about it here.
I can
Yeah.
fine.
My final. Go first. Yeah, go first. What is your final verdict on Suzume, Elise?
Based on the movies that I've seen, comparing that to this, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 as well. Solely because like I enjoyed it. There are elements that I'm gripe about, right? But I know everyone else is gonna be like, no, that was the best part. It was like cute, whatever. I don't care. That's their opinion. Um, but I'm definitely not gonna see it anytime soon, unless someone that hasn't seen it wants me to join them in a movie watch along, and I'm like, sure, why not? What do I got to lose? Um, yeah, a 7 out of 10 would be fine with me. Passing, but not like the best.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go with a 4.5 out of 10. This is
Mhm.
obviously my least favorite from his movies. Um,
Understandable.
Weathering with You was a straight up five. I was like mad about that one, even though like as it grew on me, it
Hmm.
was like I was kind of on it. Um, but yeah, this movie just it just didn't do it for me. And yeah, here's to hoping that Miyazaki's next movies, the one that he's premiering this year, is better. 'Cause so far, anime's got a sour taste in my mouth right now for this year.
Honestly, I
But
should have taken you. I should have bought you the tickets to go see the Demon Slayer movie because it's technically a recap, so you would have been fine watching it. But there's beautiful fucking like even on your phone, it looks beautiful, dog. And I
yeah,
kind of hate it because it was on Prime, Dolby, and IMAX.
yeah,
I should have gone on a $5 like cheaper Tuesday too.
yep,
But
yep.
man, I was like, nah, I'll wait, I'll wait. But yeah,
But yeah, that's it. That's it. That is our review of Suzume. We thank you all so much for joining us. Of course, if you would like to support us, please go and check us out on the nerdcore.com, Twitter
hmm
at the nerdcore underscore, Instagram at the nerdcore, patreon.com/slash the nerdcore. So you can get this episode early before it drops on the main channel for the public. And of course, if you want to talk about the films of Makoto Shinkai, anime, or Suzume, you should probably check out our Discord video. Link is in the description of the audio and video version of the
I wonder if we're saying it
podcast.
wrong.
Suzume? I don't know, bro.
We're not Japanese. Oh my god,
Yeah. Yeah, we're not Japanese. I'm just Suzume. I think
our
that's how they were
pronunciation.
saying it. That's how
Yeah,
they were saying it too, right?
but they got
Suzume?
like how Spanish has their accents.
Yeah.
I think it's like that where we don't recognize the accents well enough
Yeah.
to properly say, it, but
Yeah.
it's close. We're not purposely using
We're
it.
not polyglots. You know. Yeah. Yeah. We're not blessed with the what's it called gift to be able to learn these languages so quick.
So quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
wish.
of course, if you're on YouTube, please make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content that drops on the channel. Leave a 5-star review on the audio feed because it would help us out a lot. And yeah, we want to thank our wonderful Shane for being a producer of this show here. You can follow Shane at XSRK on Twitch, Twitter at ThriftedIL, Prison City Shit on Instagram, PrisonCityVintage.com for all your vintage clothes needs. Prison City Vintage in Crest Hill, Illinois. Visit the boy. I know he's getting a new store soon, so he's going to be changing locations, but I'm pretty sure when that happens, I will give you all the updated information. But with that said, my friends, that is it for us too until we get to do our review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I'm really excited for us to do that one.
I
Ooh.
probably need to rewatch this the first three
Yeah, first, yeah, Volume 1 and
or
Volume
two.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm not ready, man. I'm not ready to see that little. Hopefully, the raccoon doesn't die,
Yeah,
but
everyone's
hopefully,
speculating that.
yeah,
Who knows? We'll see.
yeah. But we thank you all so much for joining us here. Of course, we will see you all in the next one. But without further ado, I don't know, Luis, you say something.
All right. I'm gonna go see Jujutsu Kaisen. Once again,
Yeah,
maybe Demon Slayer too, because honestly, that's a superior released anime shit that's come out in theaters so far. They're releasing Studio Ghibli movies. If y'all want to go see something better than that, this is me. At least you can rely the classics, right? Um, Thank you everyone for watching. Like Raul said, leave a like if you like, enjoy our thoughts. Comment what else you want us to do if you like. If we've seen something, because we've seen basically majority of the stuff that comes out, but we're not going to
yeah,
cover everything.
yeah.
But if you haven't seen the post about it, comment down below and maybe we'll reply and see if we've already done it or if we've like are meant to do that. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, God, dude, this fucking cursed energy, man. That's all I can think about. That's it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go close some doors. See if that does anything.
Peace out, yo.